Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll, everything have to humble. Everything have to humble. I'ma go get that. I just go hard, I just go hard. And I'm a kind of fella. Put my trust in God, put my trust in God. That simple means say, nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can control me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Yo, just show me some strength. No weakness, show me a lion come. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Strength, no weakness, show me a lion come. Everybody strength, no weakness, show them who we are. That's when you roll. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll, everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. Right.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
I will survive, I will survive.
Yeah. Testing. 1, 2. How you guys doing? What's up? Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Wednesday on the ride. Almost at Thursday. I'm looking forward to Thursday, that's why. How is everybody doing today? Favor King, big up yourself. Deanne, welcome. Everybody as you're coming, go ahead and share the program, because today it's a debate, it's a discussion, it's an engagement, and I want everybody a part of this discussion right here tonight. Okay? I want everybody a part of this discussion here tonight. So as you're coming, go ahead and share the program. Share it once, share it twice. Let me see who's first up today. Let me see who's first up on the ride today. Join us in first. Peter Joseph, welcome to the ride. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing my civic duty, guys. I'm sharing. Hey, Favor King, big up yourself. Elaine, how you doing? The folks over there on YouTube, how you doing? Big up yourself. Keep on locking it down. Thank you for locking it down, ladies and gentlemen. Gail, how you doing? Lois JJ, how you doing? Deanne Fraser, how you doing, my dear? All right. Almost there. All right, I'm ready. Pamela, how you doing? All right. Okay. All right. Let me start the thing. All right. So there have been a lot of discussion, Jed, within this past couple weeks over cultural appropriation, right? Now, what happened is this actor, you guys know this actor from this big movie. His name is Mr. Michael B. Jordan. He launched a brand of rum called Jouvert. Now, people cry foul when he launched it because they're saying, where this man just come out and launch a rum, call it Jouvert? People start to look at it and say, but that man is not from the Caribbean. He's not from Grenada. He's not from Trinidad. He's not from any one of the Caribbean islands. As far as they know, they say the man is from Wakanda. Anyway, as far as everybody's saying, they don't know how or who invited the man inside of the mix so that he could get in so comfortable. And they're saying, so comfortable that he launched a rum brand call it Jouvert. Everybody started to blog about it. People getting upset about it. Cultural appropriation. People saying it's foul. He should never be able to do that. Who let him in? Who did that? Why did they do it? So I've always asked the question, right? My position on this is, and that's the reason why we're having this conversation, right? Who really own the name, the brand? What is the historical value that we hold as a Caribbean people? Do we even own that brand to even make claim to the brand called Jouvert or Carnival or Calypso? Do we own any of that? So I decided to bring in a conversation. Now, mind you, we had a conversation before, right? We had a conversation when that was? That was last year sometime, when we had Jab Moses and my brother from 999 Radio, and we had a very good discussion on the history of Carnival. I think it's only right that we bring back another discussion. But today, here are my panelists. My first panelist, he is a cultural ambassador, right? An unofficial cultural ambassador. He is and has been one of the cultural ambassador who has been very, very, very active in promoting Jab in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. His name is Jab Moses. We all know him as Jab Moses. Jab Moses has played Jab during Carnival, after Carnival, before Carnival, for Christmas, for New Year's. Anytime Jab Moses get a chance, he playing Jab. So Jab Moses is on the panel and he will be chatting with us. Also on the panel and will be chatting with us, he's on the phone line. His name is Mr. Roy Pierre. Now, Mr. Roy Pierre is also a cultural ambassador. He dealt with Jouvert and he was instrumental here in the US, in the US, in Brooklyn area, to bring in and had a lot of involvement in the Jouvert, bringing Jouvert this side of the ocean in the diaspora, right? He'll tell us more about everything that he do, Mr. Roy Pierre, and he will be joining us as well. So I am happy, guys. I am happy, very happy to have this conversation. Now, during this conversation, I am very, very sure that we're gonna have some disagreement, because whenever we talk about culture and Jouvert and Carnival, there are people who have historical equivalents of information. Some of it might be based on information that they got, might be incorrect or wrong. So we appreciate everyone's views on it, right? So we're looking for hardcore evidence. This gentleman, these two guys on the program today, they have good facts and they're gonna bring it, but they might contrast as well. So let's introduce both of our panel. Let me bring down my audio down to 0 so that I could bring them in. Stand by. Let me do that. Let me welcome. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Jab Moses and of course Mr. Roy Pierre. Let's start with the elder statesman, cultural ambassador, Mr. Roy Pierre. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. All praises to the Father above.
Dang, yeah.
Following the protocol of the pandemic and what have you, and doing the best I could to stay above board.
That's good. That's good. That's the best that we could do. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's also welcome Jab Moses. Jab Moses, how are you doing today, sir?
Very, very good. Pleasant good night to all the Ridealong fans and family. And it's good to be here again. Hope this discussion could be fruitful and positive towards finding out and giving and also receiving information towards the topic tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's start off. I don't know which one of you guys want to jump on first, but here is the situation as I stated earlier. Mr. Michael B. Jordan came up with the idea of branding his rum named Jouvert. What was Jab Moses' view to you first, sir? What was your initial reaction after you saw that?
Well, when I saw it, I actually thought to myself that the people within the soca diaspora, they missed an opportunity to trademark the word Juve. And I really like. I did see the cultural appropriation, knowing that he's not really from the Caribbean. He doesn't celebrate or really connect with the ancestors, and the fact that all the things that they went through, and the fact that we are using this Juve, the term Juve, as a celebration to pay respect and to also celebrate the hardships of our foreparents and the ancestors who were enslaved. So with me, I was very concerned that we didn't take the opportunity to trademark that particular name. But then it also shed a little light to know that at this point in time, where the world is a little bit slower now, we need to look into certain things like that. Like, imagine somebody else came up with a drink called Jab Jab. You know what I'm saying? It could happen. It just goes to show that probably we are not really paying attention to the nitty gritty details about our culture, and we are not putting enough effort to safeguard these things so that generations to come can benefit from it. You know, so that was just my 2 cents out of the whole social media craze and everybody going back and forth and all of that. But it just shows that he saw a business opportunity. Nobody else registered or trademarked the name, and he went with it. You know, so
I mean,
yeah, that was just my 2 cents.
Right. Go ahead, Mr. Pierre.
I'm in agreement with that, because listen, you nobody has Juve is a word out there in the world. Nobody put, like, the government or people responsible for culture. Let's say in Grenada, Trinidad, here in Brooklyn, nobody put a business mind to do what this brother is doing. This is a black man. If he saw an opportunity to do what he is doing, right on. What should have happened is the government or the cultural folks who deal with running these different cultural events, like Jouvert in Grenada, Jouvert in Trinidad, and Jouvert here in Brooklyn, should have got in touch with this brother and had a sit down with him and let him know what is the significance of the culture and Jouvert, the word Jouvert. But we don't own the word Jouvert. We don't own it. He decided to do what he have to do. It's a black man. Let him do what he had to do. We dropped the ball.
Right.
End of story. That's my input on it.
Okay, all right.
I go along with what the brother said, you know. What Jab, the brother that spoke, I go along with what he's saying. We did not, we dropped the ball. End of story.
Right. Okay. So let's look at it from a historical point of view, right? Very historical point of view. From your understanding of Juve, Carnival, and the likes, right, Mr. Pierre? What is your understanding as to the naming and how it was named and how Carnival started? What's your general understanding of it?
Okay, listen, I am a elder statesman in the culture. I'm not afraid. I'm 75 years old. Praise the Lord.
Right.
Okay, and I've been in the Carnival, crossing the main stage in Trinidad from about the age of 7 in costume bands. My deceased mother, my stepfather at the time is a renowned Carnival cultural icon in Trinidad, still alive. Praise the Lord on that also. Jason Griffith is his name. Anyway, I got the culture from those folks and evolved until I came to America at the age of 20, 1966, the 20th of January 1966. And when I got here, my friends who had come before me, we didn't come here to learn how to dress and as a Trinidadian perspective. Mm-hmm. We come from what we call in Trinidad back then, Saga Boy and Saga Girls. Mm-hmm. And we love to party. Trinidadians have a thing about the party, which the Prime Minister back in them days call it, Eric Williams called it a Carnival mentality. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I came here and started producing with my friends basement parties, and we went along, and still I moved into it, doing it by myself all over New York City. The famous Village Gate, pub theatrical, which is on 53rd and Broadway. I've been on Broadway with the dance, in the dance hall.
Right.
In 1971, bam, deceased Mr. Carlos Lazama decided to form a committee, WIDECA, West Indian American Day Carnival Association, with some other folks. And the main man who had brought that to Brooklyn.
Right. But I want to go back. I want to hold on, Mr. Pierre. Hold on, Mr. Pierre. I know that is a very important timestamp, but I wanted to go further back from that because in order to understand
you want to go back to Trinidad?
Yeah, I wanted to go back to Trinidad because in order to understand what happened here in New York, we have to first
go from the
we
source.
have to go from the source.
Well, my knowledge of the Jouvert and of the Carnival, I don't want to just say Jouvert because Jouvert is part of the Carnival. In Trinidad, like what happened? I don't know if folks realize that there was a Canboulay riot in Trinidad back in the day, back prior to when the ex-slaves were cutting the cane and burning the cane, Canboulay cane burning. Anyway, the bottom line is that the master and them decided, look here, you all come and celebrate the 2 days before Lent with our thing, with the Carnival, and stop the Canboulay because they realized the Canboulay was bringing an economic value to the ex-slaves because they were putting their money together and buying back lands where they were slaves, and the master kind of said, well, the ex-master, because they were the employers at that point.
Right.
Said, well, look here, we all have to stop this Canboulay thing and try to stop it. They rioted. Anyway, to cut a long story short, that's another history. They tell them, come and join the Carnival thing, which is deep-rooted in the Roman Catholic Church. Carnival was brought to Trinidad by the French folks who had colonized Trinidad back in the day, before the Spanish, the Spanish, the French, then the English. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the ex-slaves and they go along with the master and decide to join the Carnival thing. End of story. Bam, it begins another chapter. They started in the Carnival in the early mornings of Monday, which is before dawn, which is the word Jouvert is before the dawn. They came out with branches from trees and percussion instruments that they made up back then. This before the pan, and after that was tambu bamboo, and then came the pan. But in the meantime, they started with breaking off branches and coming down the street, dancing the dance and enjoying the early morning dawn before the sun came up. Jouvert. Okay? As things evolved, they started into more costumery and more depictions. It was more or less like macabre. It was with man pulling a coffin. It was also jovial. A man playing a police running down a thief. A fellow would have a foul and a policeman running down. They call it police and thief. A man playing a doctor with looking to song people with the stethoscope and stuff like. In other words, it was jovial as well as macabre. Everything mixed up. It had so-called devil thing in there, which I am not saying it's how the jab thing evolved, but this was part of our thing. Trinidad. I'm not Grenadian, so I can't speak on a Grenadian perspective. I'm speaking on a Trinidad perspective. No, it had that in there, and the thing evolved into where it is today.
Right. Let's snip it right there. Right. I want to come back from there. But Jab Moses, I want you to give us your understanding of the start or the initiation of the carnival, where it started, and also your understanding as to the start of the Jouvert per se.
Okay. All right. So Jouvert, from my research that I've done, is actually a French Creole word. And it was brought in by the French slave owners and plantation owners. But remember, during the transatlantic slave period, when they brought the slaves from Africa, it wasn't just Trinidad or only Grenada. They were spread across the Caribbean, even Brazil, and many other different places. But anyways, this Jouvert itself actually means the break of dawn. And you know how we just blow the conch shell in Grenada on Jouvert morning when you hear "Poo." This was literally the sound that would be made at the break of dawn to signal to the slaves to get up and to start working, right? So this is part of it where we derive the name Juve, which actually means the break of dawn. But this celebration, not just celebration, because from my research, it was more so a mockery, right? And it wasn't as developed as how it was in Trinidad in terms of all the different types of mass within the Juve. That Juve itself stemmed from the slaves actually fighting, but in a mockery sense. Then they could not have killed the slave owners. So the only thing that they could have done at that point in time was to mock them and to have their own form of celebration, right?
I'm in,
And
Okay.
I'm in
Yeah.
yeah,
agreement.
so
Yeah. Okay.
You're right there. Okay. Go
so
ahead.
so
Go ahead.
so so the Juve itself was spread across the Caribbean. So we can't really we don't really have a particular date, but we do know that Juve itself, the French meaning, was derived, let's say, in the 1700s. That's where it really started with the slaves, right? But then it evolved into something different, as Mr. Roy, I believe, was explaining in terms of in Trinidad, where they call the slaves to join into a committee or whatever to create something bigger. So this, from my research, Juve itself went all the way back to the slaves. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Right. Right. So then if we are saying that the Juve is not particularly or owned or trademarked by anyone, we have someone who is coming in and trying to put this thing out there in terms of a rum that he will promote and sell and probably have to explain Juve when he speak on a platform. Why is it that Trinidad, some Trinidadians are upset, and why is it that some Grenadians are upset? Do any one of us own the name or have any closer relationship to the name than anybody else? So what's
That's the
stopping
point I
Michael
made.
from doing that?
That's the point I made.
Right.
So if this brother decides to do what he's doing, we the people who are in control of the carnivals, they should have gotten in touch. Like I'm speaking about the cultural agencies in Trinidad, Grenada, wherever else, and that celebrate Juve, and have a sit down with this brother and get to some kind of, let's work this out and see what they could come together and make this a workable something for everybody. That's my input.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but Junior, at the same time, I agree with what he's saying. Like now, things are a little bit different, and there are people who are actually in charge of different carnival committees, etc. But I just feel like Juve itself is such a broad term that it's kind of hard to pinpoint and say, well, this person owns that word or whatever.
That,
So
that's what I said.
how I think it's then
You can't just come and tell somebody they can't use that
yeah
word unless you have it copyright.
yeah I think what Michael B. Jordan did, he did his research, his team did his research. They trademarked the name and they launched it. The backlash did have him to realize that he was getting a lot of negative feedback from the people who are very passionate about Juve. So this is my perspective on it. Well, Junior, you know how close and how dear Grenadians and Trinidadians hold Carnival and Juve itself to our heart. In Grenada, yes, the pretty mass is nice and all of that, but most people that come to Grenada for Carnival, they come specifically for Juve. That free mass, that mass where you don't have to pay any money, that mass where you put the oil on your skin and you depict the slaves and you portray and celebrate the lives of the people that have passed and gone and created what we know are benefiting from. So I
Could I,
feel like it's something that we must have a discussion about,
could I,
and we need to get it right.
my brother?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Why do some of your people who play in jab have horns on their head?
Why we have the horn?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, remember, jab jab means devil, devil, right?
Okay.
It's just
Were the
it's
African
a it's pardon?
were the African slaves devils?
No, no, no. The African slaves weren't devils. The African slaves put the horn on their head to mock the slave owners. They were calling the slave owners devils.
I got you. I understand what you're saying, but to some people, it gives that what I just said to you about the horns looking like if the black slaves, ex-slaves, they were devils.
No, 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 no. You see now,
That,
that just
American,
that
the white man who were the previous slave owners and when slaves when they were free up the people in charge, if you're mimicking them in that way, okay, I accept your explanation.
yeah, yeah. It's all about education. You see, now a lot of people see it as oh, the jab jab is the devil. But through education and going way back, you would get a better understanding to know that what they were portraying was not who they were. They were portraying who the slave master was and what they were doing. The slave masters were the ones who were the devil.
If I may, excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
But
yeah, go ahead.
you should not paint yourself in black. Paint yourself in white.
Well, this is technical again too. Hold on. So I could give you the history.
Then paint yourself in white, and I don't have a.
No. Well, I understand where you're coming from, but you have to look at it like this. Remember, back then, in order for the slaves to disguise themselves, they had to use the charcoal or the molasses from the cane. And this is what they had readily available. So in order to not get into trouble with the plantation owners, what they did is they took the charcoal or they took the molasses and they put it on their skin. So the black is just an upgraded version of what we used to do. But we don't have molasses in abundance to use on 200,000 people who are playing Jouvert. So what a lot of people have done during the recent years is that we use motor oil on our skin. But this is not significant towards what they were trying to do. They were just trying to disguise themselves so that the plantation owners could not identify which slaves were mocking them. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
Let me update the viewers that's watching, guys. We're having this conversation on the origin of Carnival and Jouvert. We have two historians, and he's kind of young, but he did a lot of research. Jab Moses is here with us, and he's a cultural ambassador, unofficial cultural ambassador. And we have the other historian and cultural ambassador, Mr. Roy Pierre, here with us as well to give us some historical view of Jouvert. So in essence, Mr. Pierre, Trinidadians had no reason or have no reason to be upset or annoyed.
I didn't say that. They could be upset, but who's to blame?
Right.
They have to blame the cultural agencies that run the carnivals. They should have got insight into what's happening with this guy and have a sit down with the man and come to some kind of agreement and work out something, because the word Jouvert is not owned by Trinidadians, Grenadians, or anyone. It's a word out there. That's my input. But if we saw where this guy was going and looking to make a monetary gain with this rum that he's calling Jouvert, then call the brother in. He's a black man. have a sit down and tell him, look here, this is significant to our culture. This word Jouvert. And this is where we would like to have a conversation with you as to how this thing is going to be marketed, or what is what. Whether it was out of Grenada, out of Trinidad, out of Brooklyn here, which Jouvert is a significant part of the carnival culture here in Brooklyn. Okay? Now, the bottom line, this is what I would have done if I was in charge.
Right, right.
End of story.
No, a lot of people speak about the Mecca of Carnival. And
Trinidad, Trinidad, the English-speaking world, Trinidad, I'm putting up stamp on that. Trinidad, in the non-English speaking world, Brazil. End of story.
Job Moses.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, you know, I'm not going to disagree with what he's saying. Like, this is what is considered to be the Mecca of Carnival, because being realistic, it's out there in on Google, on the internet. Trinidad and let's say Brazil were literally the first two countries to, well, Trinidad, I believe, was the first country to officially, in black and white, register and have that celebration. And it was printed on the newspapers worldwide. This is, I can't remember the exact date, but they were the first ones to actually do it in terms of creating it as black and white documentation that they were holding that celebration. So yes, Trinidad.
Thanks for seconding what that motion I brought to the table. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, if anything, it's right. Then Trinidadian have the right to be more upset over this if they're the Mecca, and as far as what you agreed to, in Mr. Pierre's statement, the folks in Trinidad should feel a little more like, what the hell is going on? Who bring him inside of here? Who he talk to over here?
But my brother, like I said, why didn't they bring this man to the table and let him know what he's doing and where he's going with this thing? This have a lot of serious implications, and let's sit down and think this thing through and come to some kind of agreement where, you know, we could work something out and everybody get something from the Jouvert rum. That's
yeah,
how,
but a point,
you know, my brothers.
Sorry to interrupt, but a point I just wanted to make, Junior. Yes, we will recognize that Trinidad did do black and white, and they were officially the ones who brought out the carnival and celebrated and had a mass celebration of carnival. Yes, that is true. But simultaneously and at the same time, remember, there were many different countries or people from different countries in Trinidad, especially Grenada, that
we're cousins.
Pardon?
I said we're cousins. Grenada and Trinidadian, right. Not a mixed in blood.
Right. But yeah, I know. What I'm saying is that yes, we recognize Trinidad, but we also have to recognize that within Trinidad there was a mixture of Grenadians, Dominicans, and Caribbean people who influenced the celebration as well too. It wasn't just purebred Trinidadians. And if you really think about it as well too, Trinidad is a multicultural, multi-race nation. Trinidad is not purebred. It's Spanish mixed with French and Portuguese and English.
I never put it as Trinidadian black. We diversified. We are Syrians. We have all kind of people. Chinese. We have East Indians. Everybody. We have people from up the Caribbean. Like I say, you Grenadians are our cousins. I am not disputing that, my brother. We are mixed breed set of people out of Trinidad. So it's not. I don't get your point there.
All I'm saying is you have to look at it at the point that people, especially people who know the history,
and we bring that to the table. Anywhere we go to live, Trinidadians spread the carnival culture. Trinidadians with the other Caribbean people coming in in the joint effort as we go along. But when you check it, is a Trinidadian in the background that
Yeah,
spread the
but
carnival.
let me,
And I'm not
hold on, Mr. Pierre,
something.
hold on, Mr. Pierre. I get your point there, right? But in the mix of things, I think what we are trying to say is there are a lot of other, like for instance, William Monroe, who is
A Grenadian,
he's a Grenadian, and
yeah.
he is
Mighty Sparrow is
a
a
mighty
Grenadian.
sparrow, right? So it's still they are the Grenadians and other
I never
Caribbean.
disputed it. I never disputed it. I said we have a mixed set of people, but the bottom line, when overall, whether the Grenadian born or whatever, the bottom line is that we are Trinidadians. That's what I'm getting across here. I'm not denying that other people from other islands. What about the Syrians and the Lebanese and what about the Chinese and the East Indians and they're all part of the mix, my brother.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that, but remember when Junior had talked about it initially, you came in serious and you said Trinidad, hands down. I'm not saying no, black and white, black and white.
I mean,
history.
the overall Trinidadian, the mix that you're talking about the other islands and this, I also put in the Syrian, the Chinese, the East Indian, and everybody else in that mix. We are Trinidadian.
I'm not saying no. I was just reiterating that. Like I needed to put that piece of information in it.
That I know, and I'm sure the audience know this.
It's a discussion, so
I don't think across stating that Trinidadian is a pure black nation or a pure. No, I never said that. I said Trinidadian. I put my foot down as a Trinidadian, and I know my background.
Right.
Okay, so
and let me make one more point.
Go ahead.
In the realm of the carnival, we brought something to the table that nobody else have brought to the table: the steel pan. That is another. That is something that Trinidadians blew also. That's like how with this rum thing, we blew that. We blew that. I'm talking about the powers that be. I'm talking about the powers that be should have put that instrument in a higher. It's the instrument of the island, Trinidad, but it is not as it should be, and where you're getting all the copyrights and the this and the that and the monetary gains from this thing. You go to Japan, you go to China, all over the world has steel pan. It originated in Trinidad, yes, but we are not getting the financial royalties that we should have been getting if the powers had put things in place. But that's another subject for another time.
So someone just messaged me a question there, and I want to pose it to you, Mr. Pierre. They said if it wasn't for Grenadians who traveled from Grenada, they probably would have never been at Trinidad Carnival.
I ain't even going into that. I want no argument this evening.
No, so I don't know how you want to address it. I mean,
well, I said I won't even get into that because my blood is near my skin and I don't want to go there.
Okay.
I know what I know. If that person know that the Grenada come Trinidad and start Carnival, then they know something more than me. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
I am not a Grenadian. I'm a Trinidadian.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure the person listening
Junior, I don't know if I'll get an opportunity to speak, but
yeah, go ahead.
One point I really had to bring out, and I feel like a lot of people are not even aware. Junior, I think you probably know that because you are on the soca scene as well too. Marshall Montano recently, officially made soca music as a genre of music to be sold and streamed worldwide. And this milestone that Marshall Montano created and established is for us Caribbean people to benefit from the streams and the selling of our music as a genre. A couple years ago, soca music was being streamed as reggae. You understand where I'm coming from? And this just goes to show that our people have been celebrating but have not been studying the business aspect of our culture and tradition. So what's happening, this whole fiasco with Michael B. Jordan should be an eye-opener to us as Caribbean people to take the lead and to do the research and do the work and lay a foundation and establish something that could safeguard our Caribbean people so that we can benefit from the words or whatever genre, whatever it may be that's concerning our culture, so that the people who are dealing with the culture can benefit from it. Not just individuals, but countries, economies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
True.
feel like this is just, it's an eye opener for us.
What you said, but could I interject something? Where's Marshall Montano from?
You should
Yeah.
say that.
But where is his parents
Thank
from?
you.
Where is his
Thank
parents
you.
from?
Thank you.
But his
Thank you.
parents is from Grenada. You could say he's Grenadian. He could get a Grenadian passport.
Brother, what can I tell you? That's going into another set of chat. You know, I just interject that to because you were the one brought Marshall as the person putting soca where it should be.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that it's an integration of the Caribbean.
Nobody said no. I didn't say no.
It is Haitian.
But I just upholding that the leaders of the Carnival in the English-speaking world, I maintain this till I die. Trinidadians. End of story. Now, the input of all the other Caribbeans and all the other people that are involved is part of it, but it comes out of Trinidad. And like you yourself said, the brother there,
John Moses.
He said when you Google and you go on Trinidad is the name comes up.
Yeah. Listen, I love Trinidad Carnival, and Trinidad Carnival is something that to really experience, right? The carnival, the big bands and all of those things, right? But a lot of people would say, even a lot of people, Trinidadians might even agree with me what I'm saying here. When in terms of the celebration of Jouvert, they would read Grenada Jouvert.
The Grenadians have taken that genre because of the jab.
Right.
They love the jab, and they have taken that aspect of the carnival. And I'm not putting them down in no way. I am not putting them that's their thing. Hey, my brother, run with it, which they have been doing. I'm not putting them down in no way, no. It is their thing. The jab is their thing. Do your thing, my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get where he's coming from. But you see now, this is the first world. This is 2021 that we're dealing with. It's no more about just doing your thing, because doing your thing have us in this mess now with Michael B. Jordan being able to just take a name like Jouvert and run with it and benefit off of it by branding. No, but I'm just saying. No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying. We have to be a little bit.
Whose fault is that?
No, I'm just saying we have to be a little bit more proactive, a little bit more smart. We have to think business-minded. Remember, Junior, and you know that for yourself, Jouvert, we've had discussions in Grenada about that. Jouvert is literally the only carnival activity that you pay no money. You could attend Jouvert in Grenada. You pay no money to attend this celebration. You go in, you have a good time, you go in clean, you come out dirty, celebration. But how many years have people from all over the world come and capture video evidence, picture evidence of our celebration? And they are selling these pictures online, and they are benefiting off of our culture,
Right.
of the portrayal and the mockery, you know. But the thing about it is that we need to start thinking a little bit more proactive towards going for, like, we need to find some way that we can benefit the economy and the culture can benefit from our tradition and our culture.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my brother. Don't they have a cultural agency like the Ministry of Culture in Grenada? I'm sure they do.
Yes.
Just as in Trinidad. So this is where I'm putting the blame.
Yeah.
I'm not putting the blame on you and I, you know.
Yeah.
The people who in power, who the cultural minister, the cultural agencies in Trinidad, the cultural agencies in Grenada should have picked up on this, you should have pulled the court in Grenada, or Trinidadians who are uptight about it should have pulled the cultural division of the government and tell them, look, you're only look into this and see what could happen. But it is what it is. That's all my input on that.
Yeah. You asked a very interesting question there, right? And I was just thinking about it. You asked whose fault is it, right?
Yeah.
And collectively, how could we approach this situation? And primarily, whose fault is it? Is it the Grenada because they have not done XYZ? Is it Trinidad because they haven't done XYZ? And we're speaking about Grenada and Trinidad like Grenada and Trinidad alone are carnival. Vinci have a big massive carnival as well. Vinci Mas, Barbados, St. Lucia
also.
All of them countries, Dominica.
Also.
Exactly. So
all over the Caribbean,
So
as a matter of fact, all over the world now.
Yeah. So we're speaking on this level. But whose fault is it? Is it Trinidad should I do some more, or if so, should Trinidad appoint someone and conversate and see how they could get some numeration or work on some kind of engagement? Who goes forward with this? Who should take the
Excuse me, my brother, the host, Junior. Didn't I make that point earlier? I said it that the powers that be, in other words, the cultural agencies, the government, the Ministry of Culture, they have people working under the minister. They should have tuned in to when Trinidadian and the Grenadian cultural a wing of the government should have tuned in to when people were speaking and bring this brother to the table and have a discussion. That's what I said from earlier clock in this conversation.
Right. Okay, Pele Dabo is writing a comment here. He's saying that Trinidad was a Spanish colony. The capital is Port of Spain. How come the component of Carnival is basically French, Jouvert, the Marche Gras?
Because the French is who brought Carnival to Trinidad. The brother there, he said it earlier in the conversation also. The French were the Catholic folks who brought the Carnival Bacchanalia to Trinidad. The brother, second emotion.
I agree, Junior, because remember it was a different timeline. Remember there was a period of time where Trinidad was colonized by the Spanish, and there was a time when the French came after, and then after the English. So within that timeline, the French brought a different set of slaves. The English brought a different set of slaves. And I even did some research. I can't remember the exact name, but there's a specific tribe of people in Nigeria that came to the Caribbean, and they were some of the people who actually did the dances and the rituals and so on. So it's a timeline of different people who colonized the Caribbean. So that's the reason why you have the name Jouvert as to be French, which was the break of dawn. You know, I guess as much everybody, all the different colonizers, they had different ways of organizing their slaves or what they did and so on. But yeah.
Right. So guys, we're looking at this here again, and as what everyone is saying, what we understand in here is a missed opportunity. Because Caribbean people and the powers that be didn't take that opportunity and run with it, and didn't engage Michael B. Jordan, the actor who is globally acclaimed, and use his power to maximize and probably even promote the Jouvert thing even more. That's a missed opportunity.
There you go. Listen, and you know what? You know how they blew it also? It have a Tobagonian brother actor who was in that movie with that brother.
Yeah.
So he could have discussed this Jouvert thing with him. It have a Tobagonian brother was in the movie. So I am sure he knows him. You know, so you're right. You hit it right. That's what you said there. After what I said earlier. Mm-hmm. I'm in agreement with you, my brother.
Let me see if you could get some voices on this, guy. 718-701-5720. If you want to add your voice to the quick little discussion right here. And let me know what you think. Was it a missed opportunity by Caribbean people? And going forward, right, who should take the authority? because there might be other situations like this where we may have to come back and have this whole push again. Someone would probably come and say, let's call, well, there's already some kind of drink or the other called Calypso.
Yeah.
It's owned by a Caucasian brother, as far as with the pictures that I saw.
Remember, they have a company here in the Midwest making steel pan sticks. Everything white owned. Anyway, go ahead and say what you
Yeah,
said.
so who is it? Who should take the horse or the cow or the bull by the horn the next time something like that come across? Should it be
it has to be collective.
You have to be collective.
It can't be an individual. It has to be collective. You know, it would be unfair to have an individual own the rights or the trademarks to a name like Jouvert, especially someone who was not there at the break of dawn, was not there in the 1700s to now come on the scene and just own that word and market it and monopolize that word and make billions or millions of dollars. It has to be the leaders, whether it's cultural leaders, whether it's prime ministers of the Caribbean countries who celebrate Jouvert. They need to come together and organize a body, a team of people to have discussions. These things is discussions and then planning and moving forward. At the end of the day, Junior, how I see it is business. If Michael B. Jordan really and truly wanted to go ahead, he can.
Yeah.
Because nobody actually registered and trademarked the name.
True.
But there are certain things like Jouvert, which is so broad and it is so centered around culture that they should have restrictions in that regard. Then they should have restrictions as to what kind of word you can brand or just monopolize like that.
Right.
But I guess as much because he's in America, it would be a different type of law.
Right. Well, let me ask a question. Right. I know, Mr. Pierre, I know you wanted to jump in here, but let me ask a question so you could add to what you had to say, right? What if, right, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves or the Prime Minister or whoever of St. Vincent and the Grenadines,
a progressive gentleman, Ralph Gonsalves, a progressive.
Right. Yeah. Were to just decide, okay, you know what? All this debate and thing going on, I am going to trademark Jouvert. And the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines went and he get the trademark for Jouvert. What would be Trinidad reaction?
Well, I don't know. I am not in the cultural. I'm not in the government. I'm not in the government. I'm just a costume band leader. On the end of the business.
Right.
I am not on the end of the Ministry of Culture. I am not the ambassador here who is responsible for culture and other things, Trinidadian and Caribbean people and the different embassies and what have you. That will move into something. If he wants to do that, then he has his right. Just like how this brother do what he has to do.
Right.
It's up to the people who in these agencies, like I say, the cultural ministries, to take up the whole aspect of it, like the brother said, and next thing, be more proactive.
Right.
Don't let this thing go running and then you're looking to be proactive. It's gone through the door already.
Right. Okay. All right. I got you. Go ahead.
I've got a 2 cents to add with that as well, too, Junior. And I will tell you, this is just my personal opinion on carnival activities and carnival on a whole within the Caribbean. I see it, and you probably might be able to expand on what I'm talking about as well, Junior. But Carnival and Jouvert within the Caribbean is a business right now, and it's a big competition. You get me? So a lot of the different islands are trying to outdo each other instead of work with each other. You understand where I'm coming from? So when you have infighting and us fighting against each other, it might not be directly We ain't fighting on the street, but we trying to outdo each other to claim that we have the best Jouvert or we have the best Carnival in the world and market that to bring in revenue for that individual country, right?
Right.
But everybody is unique and different, and the experience you will get in Trinidad will be an entirely different experience in Barbados or St. Vincent or Grenada or any other Caribbean island that partake in Juve or Carnival like activities. So
Right.
my 2 cents is I believe that more so moving forward, we need to work together, right, to create a product that could be marketed to the world. It shouldn't just be only about Trinidad or only about Grenada or only about Barbados. Junior, another point is if
If you,
somebody says,
hold that point right there, real quick, Job Moses. I got a caller coming in along this call. I want to take it. Caller, go right ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, Junior.
Hey, caller, how you doing?
Not caller, man, Pele.
Philly, hey, Philly, how you doing?
Hi there. I just want to add something to the conversation from a historical point of view that Mr. Pei seemed to be getting mixed up in it a little bit.
My name is Pierre.
And when those information get warped, that's why we are into the situation we are in with Mr. Michael Jordan is the guy name?
Yes.
Trademarking the word Juvie. You know, because we don't like what we have. For example, we have a rum here, named Pure Jab. And I don't think a lot of Grenadians know about it. And we're the land of 100,000 jab. Right? No. Trinidad was owned by the Spanish up to maybe about 1797 thereabouts. And then when the French expelled, I think it was in the 7 Years' War. I don't check back the date. When they expelled Grenadians, at least actually, when they expelled French colonists from Grenada, Dominica, etc., St. Lucia, most of them went to Trinidad. And then the colonization, to a certain extent, of the French in Trinidad began. Now there is a landowner, and he was an absentee landowner from Grenada, who owned the Queen's Park Savannah, and he left it to the people of Trinidad. They didn't have Tobago then, Trinidad, because sometime along the line, Tobago was under the governorship of the governor of the Windward Islands. Tobago was considered a Windward Island. And the seat of the governor was in government then for the Windward Islands, from Tobago in the south, Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica. The seat of the government was in Grenada. Right? Now, when the French went to Trinidad, they continued the tradition, having the big ball on Dimanche Grand Night, Fat Sunday. That's what it is. That preceded the carnival that ended on the night of Shrove Tuesday, according to the Roman Catholic calendar, which is the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. Right? The people used to have the big balls, and that is the colonial, the big Masson family. They're having the big balls and they're dressing up in all the finery. The slaves used to take pieces of fabric from the big gowns that they used to wear and all the pretty clothes and make little costume for themselves because they had like a freedom.
Right.
To do that on the night. They made a costume. That is, to a certain extent, the genesis of Pretty Mass. You understand?
Right.
Now that is what in Grenada, St. Vincent, and then they brought it and they started doing it in Trinidad. Then they started parading on the street in carts or some trolleys, I think, around Trinidad and Tobago. But the slaves could not parade after emancipation or before emancipation. The slaves could not parade on the main streets, so they used to be in the back road with the liquor parade and everything. Now, on the night when them people having the big ball, the slave used to get extra food. So, and they say, boy, that is like camboulet. Now, camboulet, cane brûlées, my French ain't too good. When they used to have cane fires, they used to cook a lot of food and feed the slaves because the slaves have to work 24/7 to all the cane. Camboulet, cane burning. So they used to get a lot of food then when our estate burning. So they used to take slaves from one estate to the other to go and out the fire. Remember, that was the livelihood of the islands at the time, eh? That was the livelihood of the islands at the time, right? So, when after emancipation, when the guys started to go on the road, the slaves started to go on the road, like they say, with a mixture of percussion instruments, then came in the tambour, bamboo, etc. People start complaining in Trinidad, the bourgeoisie, there is too much noise and too much this and that and the other. And the police decided to stop them one time, and then they had the Camboulet riots. I think that was in late 18, can't remember the date right now, right? Then when they had the Camboulet riots, right? Also, after the Camboulet riots, well, it took some time before they get it, and it was accepted that they had the carnival and stuff like that. Now, Jouvert, which means daybreak or opening of the dawn, or it's a French word. Jouvert. But with our inflection, we change it to one word. We call it Jouvert. Now, I'll hasten to add here. You know, Grenadians, maybe in the next 50 years, there'll be an argument going about this, about Mardi Gras. And somebody will say, no, it's the Mardi Gras. You know, Grenadians are the Mardi Gras because they think it is the Mardi Gras by the definite article THE. Instead of the French word, like I say, Mardi Gras mean the Mardi Gras, meaning Fat Sunday, because them guys just gorge themselves, eat a lot. Because from Ash Wednesday to Glorious Saturday, those 40 days of Lent, they were saying farewell to meat. Cane, valet. Cane, meat, valet, gone. Farewell to meat. Now, the problem with Jouvert, and it's happening now, no, just make a quick point here. Please note, Barbados with a crossover, which was predominantly English, don't have Jouvert. They have something, but it's not named Jouvert. They have a daybreak festival called 4-Day Morning Jam in the crossover. Are you aware of that? But all the aspect, most of what going on, like the Grenadians who go in Nui, they bring the alka jab in it and the old mat and all kind of thing, right? They call it 4-Day Morning Jam. That is a Monday morning, sometime around the crop over. Now, we are missing big here. Like Mr. Pierre was alluding to that. That's how we miss out big on steel band. And there is still, no, I ain't going to go in that. I don't want to give him more controversy for the night. We will leave that one day.
All right.
But anyway, steel band in Trinidad, they were so insular with it and so protective about it that, they lost it basically. The whole industry behind steel band, they lost it to Japan.
Right.
Japan has steel band factories. They have, I think they have maybe in the States, there's a university in the United States that's big on steel band. But before, in Trinidad, the pan style of Highlander Steel Orchestra was different to that of Desperados, different to that of All Stars, different to that of Cavaliers, and then different to that of Deltones and those bands in the South.
Right.
Because everybody wanted to be different. Until they realized that, wait now, a man who playing a piano or guitar, he can jump on any instrument, any part in the world and play. And then it was costing the Trinidadian bands as they start traveling more and more, they have to carry all those instruments behind them. Because it was very, very rare in those days, the early 60s or so, that they could go to the States to perform and they must bring their instruments.
Philly, I hate to cut you or hurry up because this is a very, very important. Yeah. Pele. No.
Yes.
This is very
Yeah,
important information.
commercials kind of break that. When they went to record in Trinidad, they were able to use the pans of All Stars
Right.
because they were the same style and thing with that of Comancheros.
Right.
But now we have a man trying to put, well, not really put, trying to make people ask questions about what is Jouvert. And people asking questions going to mean they might want to travel to Grenada, Trinidad, St. Vincent, St. Lucia to witness Jouvert. You tell the man he can't name the rum so. And all the man was doing was to tell them it's pronounced Jouvay, like our Jouvert chocolate.
Right.
And I'm asking myself, well, why that didn't happen to with Jouvert chocolate?
Yeah.
Just in closing, Patrick Manning's son said, he's the minister in Trinidad and Tobago government. He said that Trinidad has dropped the ball. I'm paraphrasing here. Basically, say they have lost out big time.
Yes.
Because that man was basically giving them.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Peter is a black man.
Yeah.
He go make you money.
Yeah.
But black man don't want to see black man strive.
True. That's true. Thank you, Pele. Yeah, I tell you, Pele is a historian on this.
Junior, didn't I make that point?
Yeah. No, you did, and I guess he reinforced. He reinforced that argument as well. We kind of short on time. We're running over time now, so let's get some closing arguments here on this topic. We'll start with you, Mr. Roy. Your closing statement on everything.
Like the brother who just come on there. You know, I don't know. He tried to put me down. You know, I kind of realize that in a way. You know, but listen, doesn't St. Vincent Carnival falls on a different day from Trinidad Carnival, from Barbados Carnival, and these the carnivals. The Jamaica Carnival is another date. So everybody tried to put the thing in a date which part they could get the most out of what they're presenting as a carnival.
Right.
So the bottom line, to make it an overall thing, remember, we tried federation and it failed. How much years in 1962 or something like that? We didn't come together then. So to come together, my brother, that is where we lose out on everything. Black man failed to unite. But I am glad that he injected about Marshall doing what he did with soca. End of story.
Right.
That's all I have to say. And as far as it goes, the job belongs to Grenada. I'm not putting that down. But Carnival, Trinidad. End of story. My brothers and all who listen,
yes.
God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jab Moses, closing statements from you, sir.
Yeah, it was a good it was good hearing from Pele as well, so that he could expand, you know. And it's good to know that there are people who actually have the history. And my 2 cents out of this whole discussion is that we need to do more than just having these discussions. We need the exact dates. We need the history. We need the facts, so that the children who are coming up can actually have that information to utilize. And they can actually benefit from our tradition and culture. But yeah, I really think that we did kind of hit the ball, and this should just be an eye opener towards going further, and we should just be a little bit more proactive in terms of finding out and trademarking and securing the business aspect of tradition and culture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but good night to everybody, and thanks for having me on again, Junior.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, God bless my brothers.
Hey, thank you, Roy. We'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one love, huh?
Yeah, big up. Jab Moses, and of course, Sir Roy Pierre. Pele Dabo, thanks for calling, my brother. We appreciate you as well. Yeah, man. Let's get the conversation thing going. That's what I'm talking about. History. And you know the funny thing about this is, right? I firmly remember going to school, right, and learning about the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Why did they teach me that for jet? Why I had to learn about Columbus ships and which one sail first, which one sail second, which one sail third, and all that? Why they had to teach me them thing and them for? I don't know all about that. I don't know nothing about Morris Bishop and Toussaint Louverture, and very few. But I know all about Christopher Columbus and everybody and all of these other things. Why we don't know about our history, Jed? Why we don't know about how our ancestry And that is the flawed part, you know. That is the flawed part, you know. Because if you don't know your history, your future will be flawed, because you would make the same mistakes all over again. You wouldn't learn from anything. And so that's why we like to have programs like this, because a lot of people, you could even see with it with the viewership. A lot of people don't get turned on, and this is not the hypest thing. This is not a sexiest topic for them. They're like, I'm going to listen to that. I'll watch it after. Yeah, but history is good. Even if we dispute one particular recollection of history, it's good to talk about our ancestry and our history. Now, as it relates to Michael B. Jordan, I think that we dropped the ball on this one. I'm telling all you, I really think so. I believe that there should be engagement, because the amount of vitriol that I see that a man go through on social media, everybody hitting him, oh, why you do that for, and and all kind of meme and all kind of thing. Yo, all they had to do, Jed, he said, okay, let's see, how we could partner with this. He's coming with resources. He's coming with a lot of people behind him. He's probably coming with his money and promotional, that could really promote the thing in bigger ways. See how the Caribbean could collab, right? Could collaborate. But listen, they dropped the ball. And it's probably because everybody, as Moses said, everybody trying to fight that battle by themselves. It's not a collective force, and there's very few collective force. Grenada want to say the Jouvert, the Carnival bigger and better. The Trini say, nah, that is our thing, and we bigger than that. And everybody in the middle trying to fight up their own battle. There ain't no collective fight in this. You see, if there was a collective fight, a collective interest, the old Caribbean interest in this whole culture, then there could have been better engagement. There could have been one person appointed to go and speak. But right now, who go speak? Who go speak? You go speak? I go speak? This one go speak? Trinidad go speak? Grenada go speak? Vinci go speak? Who's speaking? Which one of us speaking? Nobody don't know. Everybody watching each other. So you have to be a strong person. One person. To stand up and say, well, you know what? We're going to do this. And I bet you when the one person stand up and say that, everybody go criticize that one person. Why he's a Haitian, or he's a Grenadian, or he's a Vincentian, or he's a this, or why he's a Jamaican, and there will be another set of fight again. So sometimes, Jed, you just have to let it be. Leave it, let it be. But I think it's a missed opportunity, though. I think it's a missed opportunity. I firmly believe so. Yeah, I do. Anyway, guys, that's all. That's as far as I could take it here with my allergies. It's. I wanted to sneeze. Very, very bad allergies, guys. I apologize. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, guys, we have RideBiz. Now, RideBiz is our entrepreneur $1,000 grant. And tomorrow is the finals. 3 finalists is going to be vying for that money tomorrow. I want you guys to come early and support. We're going to have the judges tomorrow. We're going to have the contestants tomorrow. They're going to make their pitch tomorrow. And you also are part of the judging panel, because you too could vote and tell us who you think should get that $1,000 to enhance, increase, or advance their business. Okay? Also, guys, I gotta say that to subscribe to us over there on YouTube, click that link and subscribe to us on YouTube.
You gotta be firm in this.
Click the link, man. Click the link. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And click that bell as well. All right. Also, you can watch our program 24/7 programming on riderslive.com. Yeah, riderslive.com. Check it out. Riderslive.com. That's where everything happens. 24 hours of programming right there on riderslive.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube. If you have a business and you want to advertise with us right here on Ridealong. Support, donate, do whatever you can to to ensure we keep the ball rolling right here and right along. Peace out, guys. Catch me again tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good night.
Show me a lion dog. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Strength, no weakness, show me a lion dog. Everybody strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Not when you roll. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you roll. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard, I just go hard.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, light and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Oh yeah.
Welcome to TD Bank, where you'll find the personalized attention you deserve and the legendary experience you expect. Let's do business. If you are a medical or dental practitioner, contact me to hear about our tailored lending solutions for residential mortgages, equipment purchases, practice-related commercial mortgages and refinance. Visit me at 500 Baychester Avenue to hear more about our full range of personal and small business banking solutions. See you soon.